Hey everyone, it's me, Audra R. Upchurch, award-winning author, speaker, entrepreneur, and today, man, listen, I'm so excited to bring this guest before you all because she's not just a business associate. She is not just a co-author in my anthology projects. She's a friend. In fact, that's how our connection initially began. And it has been so rewarding watching her journey as a writer, as a businesswoman, and just to see her constantly grow and stretch and evolve. So I'm really excited to share her with all of you guys today so she can share with you the process of growing her book into a business and what that's looked like for her. You know, so many women take on the journey of sharing their story. And you all know that's not really easy for us, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, we're the maternal species. But for many of us, we've had unresolved trauma that has caused us to somewhat not want to put all our business out there and be all vulnerable and naked to the world, right? But what makes Michele so unique is that she tells her story so eloquently. She tells her story so transparently that you just can't help but feel like, uh-oh, that's my niece up there, y'all. Sounds like she's walking around in my heels. Okay, so Michele tells her story so transparently that after you read her stories, you feel like you know her. And I think for many of you, you'll identify with her story, whether it's your personal experience or someone that you know. So I won't delay any longer. I will introduce to you the amazing, fantastic, my friend, my running buddy, my co-author, an amazing businesswoman, Michele Mikki Jones. Woo, woo.
Hello, everybody. Hello. How are you this evening? I hope everyone is doing fine, and it is a joy and a pleasure to be sharing I want to say stage, but a platform with Audra, because like she said, she is a friend first and foremost. And one thing I want to make clear, that friendship does not mean that the business part is not about business. This woman is straight, no chaser when it comes to business. Friend or not, I still get told off when I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing and when I'm not acting like I'm supposed to be acting. And then she'll come behind it and say, but if you need me, you can call me. That's the friend part. So I want that loud and clear. Just because your friend is also in business with you, it does not mean that those boundary lines do not exist. They exist and they do not get crossed. And you still remain friends, and you can still do business.
Yes. You know what? She already kicking this off with some fun, okay? But it's so true. I think that's a missing element for many people, especially many women that start out as friends and generate a business relationship. You still got to have those boundaries in place. And I believe when you do, it allows not only your business to grow, but for your friendship to grow and thrive because of that respect factor.
Yeah.
And I see that with us as well. So that's why I'm just really excited to have you here. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Well, I'm going to give you the real quick who I am. I am a author, a writer, and I write poetry. I write short stories. I write self-help books. However, whatever category you want to put it in, that's what I write for you, because I write about my life. And anything that you read from me is going to be a piece of me. So whether it's poetry, trust, it's about my life. Whether it's a short story, an ebook, whether it's part of an anthology, it's going to be a piece of me. And that's what makes it so special for me, because I get to tell my story in so many different ways. And that's the joy of being a writer. And then, of course, I get to be a social worker, so I get to diagnose myself and to treat myself, and then to get my own issues out, pull out my own tissue, and be my own little crying box. So it's very important. Excuse me. It's very important. Excuse me. It's very important that I understand who I am, and who I am is more than just a mother, a wife, a sister, a cousin, and a friend. I am strong, Black, independent. I am achievable. And when I say I am achievable, it means that I can do whatever I set my mind to do, whether it's healing within me or helping someone else to heal. And that's my whole goal with anything that I do, whether it's personal or business. So when you ask me, who am I? The best thing that I can say to you is I am me. Because whatever you see now, you're going to either get me this way or 10 times magnified, depending on how well you want to get to know me.
All right. Well, I've definitely enjoyed watching your growth journey, and it's just been on the rise. So I want to commend you for everything that you're doing. I remember with your very first book, how that all started, and it began with us going on a run.
On a run.
Talking about the process of writing and what that looked like. And she's like, oh yeah, well, I have some poetry. I've been meaning to get published. And that was on a Sunday. And by Tuesday, this woman right here was a published author. So talk about action takers. Because y'all know I love action takers, right?
Right.
So she came out the gate with action and with intention. And I couldn't be more proud. So yes. Michele, let's talk about this. The process. You started out as a writer and evolved into a business owner, correct?
Yes.
So let's talk about what that looked like. What were some of the surprises? Because a lot of people don't understand that writing is a business. So what nuggets can you give them that was the aha for you, realizing that writing was a business?
The biggest aha that I can give anyone, now I've been writing since I was 14. And everything that I wrote from 14 to 40 is what I published in my first book. That's how long it took me to realize that I had a voice. So many of us as women, as want to be authors, as want to be entrepreneurs, have this straight line fear of, oh my God, I can't say that.
Wow.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And even though you might think it might hurt someone, the more you speak, the more you help. So for that one person that you might hurt because they're not ready to deal with their part of their truth, you are going to help so many more. So when you talk about the process, you go through the tears, you go through the hurt, you go through the humiliation. But in the process, and I'm not even going to say in the end because it doesn't end. In the process, with everything that you write, every short story, every piece of poetry, every piece of an anthology, every piece of a how-to help book, every stage that you take to speak, you're telling your story. Never deviate from what you feel is your truth.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So that's what I have to give you about the process. Never deviate from what you feel is your truth.
Wow.
You will have people that will dispute you, but they weren't there.
Right.
You will have people that will come against you that were there, but they didn't feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
You will have people that will come at you with all kinds of daggers and stares. I'm not asking you to put on a superwoman cape. What I'm asking you to do is to stand tall and never deviate from what you feel is your truth.
You know, I want to jump on that because I think what a lot of new writers are fearful about is the backlash, right? Mm-hmm. But I think what Michelle is trying to convey is you have to give the truth to your readers,
Mm-hmm.
your real readers. I'm not talking about your best friend, your mama,
Mm-mm.
Joey and them. I'm not talking about them. I'm
Mm-mm.
talking about your real readers, the people who are going to view you not as their cousin or their niece or their best friend, but as an
Mm-hmm.
author, as a
Right.
professional.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to pick up your book with a certain expectation of transparency and vulnerability, right? Because if you try to show up any other way, your readers are going to know.
Yes, they will.
They're going to know. They're going to peep that. They're going to know. So it's important for you to view your work in such a way that you remained true to the story so you can be true to your readers.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, the story is written for them.
It is. It's not even about you. It involved you, but it's not even about you. It's who you're helping.
Yes.
And I'm going to throw this one out there because this is one of the lessons that we co-authors get. Know who you're talking to. Know your avatar. And guess what? You are not your avatar.
Right.
The avatar is not you. You are trying to address a people far different from you,
Yep.
but that can relate to you.
Right.
That's another key thing that you have to understand. It's not even about you, not in the least. And just because it's your story, it still ain't about you.
It's sure enough not. And let me
It
pick
still ain't about you.
about the avatar. Your avatar is your ideal customer, your ideal reader, right? When you think about your marketing and your branding and who your book is going to reach. And that's one of the business elements about understanding that your book is a business. When you're writing your story, you want to be clear on what the branding will look like, who you'll be marketing to.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do all of that, like Michelle mentioned, you have to understand who your audience is and cater to them, right? And be clear on what their needs are, because your story, your book should be fulfilling a need for that particular reader. So that's a great point, Michelle.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. I mean, anything, like I said, I write poetry. That's always going to be my first love. Everything else is a branch out of that.
Yes.
But when I write for, like I write for anthologies, when I write for anthologies, I write like I'm writing a long poem.
Can you explain to the viewers what you mean by anthology? Because some people may not be familiar with that.
Your anthology, the best way that I can describe it in lack of better terms, layman's terms, is chicken soup for the soul. A bunch of stories inside of a book bound together that written by different people, but they're all there to encourage you. An anthology is the same difference. It has one theme with maybe about 10 to 15 different stories or versions to that theme. And in your anthology, you should be able to relate to at least 4 or 5 of those stories and enjoy the rest. Because something in there is going to make you laugh. It is going to make you cry. It is going to resonate with your soul. It's going to make you think. It's going to make you feel. And it's going to make you want to actually dig deeper into yourself to find out how you can be who you really are. So when you think about an anthology, think about, this one just came to me. Think about the chapters in the Bible. You read every single one of them, but you only take a few verses out that matter to you. But it's all one complete book. You don't separate the book. You don't separate the anthology.
Oh my gosh. I like that. That's so perfect. I have to use that. Thank you. Thank you much. Thank you much for that.
You're very welcome.
Alrighty. Yes, I love it. So let's talk about the anthology really quick. Michelle's been in a couple of my anthologies, and I'm so excited that she's a part of our Meaningful Manuscripts family.
Yes.
So, Michelle, let's talk about the collaborative work. I know a lot of times people think about writing and they think about the solo effort. No, I don't want to do this with a group. I got to do this by myself. They have this vision of what their book or story will be like. But as a co-author in an anthology, can you share what some of the benefits of that process were?
Well, Right now, I have been in 2 anthologies with Audra. Unchain My Legacy and Unchain Me Mama, The Forgiveness Factor. Now, I have to say, the Unchain My Legacy co-authors, I never thought that I would gain 11 more sisters the way that I gained 11 more sisters. We all come from different backgrounds, but we all related in such a way that our communication, our relationship now is stronger than it was when we did the anthology. I mean, we laughed together, we cried together. When you talk about being part of a collaborative, you have to expect some type of connection. A good visionary, such as Audra Upchurch, vets her co-authors very carefully for personality. And while not all of the personalities will I'm sorry about that.
There we go. There you go. We lost you for a minute, but we have you back.
Oh my gosh.
You're back. Michele?
Yep, sorry about that.
No problem.
I told you I had that do not disturb on and it wouldn't go away. There we go. Okay, so I was talking about the collaborative of, oh my goodness, there you go. Hold on, I got to get you back. Ooh, this
Okay.
I know, right? I cannot get you off. It is ridiculous.
You gotta love the technology. You have to love it.
I love technology.
Even when it doesn't.
Okay. Let me get back to you. Oh my gosh. This is when I turn my do not disturb on, the volume goes away. So I have to leave the do not disturb on. Now everybody wants to call me. Okay. So what I was saying was, when you talk about working in a collaborative and your visionary vets her co-authors that are going to be in the collaborative, you work on personality.
Yes.
And I have to say that in Unchain My Legacy, these were 12 distinctive women who all brought something to the table.
Yes,
so it was an absolute feast of knowledge that went on in Unchain My Legacy. Now, in Unchain Me Mama, The Forgiveness Factor, the same thing happens. You vet and you match personalities, and that brings about the extended relationship.
Right.
So when you're dealing with a collaborative, when you're dealing with an anthology, when you're dealing with a collection of personalities, and your visionary has the forethought on who belongs where, that only makes that cemented relationship that much stronger. Wow. So those are the things that I got out of my working in the anthologies with Audra. Is I have sisters for life that were not birthed by my mother, that I would never have met otherwise, who now I can't be separated from.
I love it. You know, for being the visionary author of these projects, what's so moving for me is to see how close you guys are. I mean, folks, they even have their own hashtag the 12, because it's 12 of them. I mean, it's ridiculous. And when I saw them all get together when we did our book launch on the cruise to Cuba, it was so heartwarming to see how close they were to bring to life, right? You know, we've been working together for months, and then to see them all together and connect and vibe and just, it was magic. It was pure magic. And I believe that when you lead an anthology project, that it should expand beyond the launch.
Definitely.
Like Michelle mentioned, they're even closer today. And that's how it should be. Like the project shouldn't end once the book is launched. That
Mm-mm.
should be the springboard to everything else, to
Right.
all the greatness, to all the closeness, to all the future business endeavors, to all the future products and services. It should be the springboard
Mm-hmm.
to the relationships even growing further. And it just warms my heart to see how these women have taken this experience and just run with it and done some
Mm-hmm.
fantastic things. So,
Yeah.
Michelle, so let me ask you this. What's one piece of advice, being a seasoned writer, what's one piece of advice you would give a new writer in regard to investing in their business, whether it's about branding or um, developing their business, knowledge or what have you? What's the one piece of advice that you would give them to really be a successful writer that thrives in business?
Okay. So my piece of advice, if you are strictly building your business on your writing, that means that everything you write, everything you speak will be about your writing.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that I have to say is, again, to be true to you.
Yes.
If I'm sorry, and I'm not really good at being like super nice about it. If they don't like you now, they ain't like you then. So who cares?
Right.
Um, and if they didn't like you then, they really ain't gonna like you now. So either way you want to look at it, don't get so caught up in how people are going to view you because of what you used to do.
Girl, say it.
Don't do that, because like a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly,
Mm.
so do you shed that old skin
Yes.
and you become this beautiful, free enigma of yourself. Not forgetting that you used to be a caterpillar, but embracing the fact that you are now a butterfly.
Yes.
Okay. So when it comes to writing, write what you feel. We'll edit whatever needs to be edited later. We'll move a word, change a sentence, but write it the way that you want it to be written. And if you read it 5 times and nothing changes, nothing changes.
Wow.
That's it. When I wrote my chapters for Unchain My Legacy and Unchain Me Mama,
Ooh, they were fire.
I wrote. I really wrote. I had a word limit, but I wrote. And then I went back and I reread it, and it had to be cut down. So I figured out what parts I could cut down.
Right.
And I didn't throw those parts away. Those parts became other short stories.
Bingo.
Okay.
Bingo.
So when I say write it all down, write it all down. We'll edit it later.
Yes.
But right now, as a writer, if that's your passion, if that's your business, write it all down. Because like I said, they didn't like you then, they really ain't gonna like you now. But then they really ain't gonna like you when you actually get to that point of success that they recognize. Because everybody views success differently, but you know what your success looks like. And while you're striving to get there, they see you and they be like, I remember when, yep, me too. Yep, me too.
Wow.
Make that your catchphrase.
Wow.
Yep, me too. Hashtag, yep, me too.
Wow.
I
Wow.
remember too. That's why I'm doing what I do.
Girl.
Simple as that.
Michelle, thank you so much. Michelle Mikki Jones. Thank
Yay!
you so much for spending this time with us today. You are amazing. And I look forward to seeing everything that you're going to be doing very soon. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that the viewers know how to keep in touch with you. So what's the best way for them to connect with Michelle Mikki Jones?
The best way to connect with me is through my website, and it is Michele, Michele.Jones, Jones, at sisterskeeper.com. SISTASKEEPR.com. Best way to get in touch with me.
That's awesome. And you can also look her up on Amazon and grab her books. You can
Oh my gosh, yes. Amazon loves me.
And guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. I am Audra R. Upchurch, and make sure you connect with me on my website, audraupchurch.com. That is the best way to keep in touch and see all my happenings. And until then, until we connect later, have an amazing, amazing day. And